Hello Moto GP enthusiasts. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Márquez's uncertain contract situation for 2027 has strategic consequences for Ducati. A short, one-year commitment would leave Borgo Panigale exposed on succession planning, rider market stability and long-term development at a moment when regulation changes and rival progress make continuity especially valuable. Marquez admits the GP26 remains a difficult fit and says his struggles mirror the adaptation problems Francesco Bagnaia faced with the GP25. The younger Marquez brother is pragmatic about his start to 2026. He's scoring points, managing risk, and using the brake before Jerez to try to close a subjective 20% gap in feel. Pedro Acosta admitted that racing alongside Marc Márquez would be a dream, as the young KTM star prepares for a likely move to Ducati for the 2027 850cc era. The comment underlines both Acosta's admiration for Marquez and the wider narrative shaping next season's blockbuster line UPS. Marc Márquez used the Easter break to combine downtime with targeted on-track training, posting images from a relaxed day in the countryside and a focused session at Motorland Aragon, where he rode a Panigale V2 as part of his recovery and preparation. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Rider moves are largely paused while the new commercial Concord agreement is finalized, which has delayed public confirmations. That freeze increases the stakes of any short-term deals. A one-year contract would buy Ducati time but also create immediate uncertainty for 2028 planning. Contract timing matters as much as content. A single-season deal can be a stopgap that complicates future recruitment. Marquez remains a top draw but is carrying the legacy of recent injuries and a mixed start to 2026. If he signs only for 2027, Ducati risks entering the 850cc regulation era without a guaranteed long-term lead rider. That uncertainty affects technical development priorities, sponsor confidence, and the ability to assemble a stable factory pairing for the medium term. The 2027 technical reset, 850 cubic centimeters engines, new tire supplier, demands a coherent rider-engineer partnership. If Marquez's future beyond 2027 is unclear, Ducati may hesitate to commit its full development roadmap around his feedback. Conversely, if Marquez retires or departs after a single season, Ducati could face a scramble to find a replacement with the right mix of experience and adaptability for the new regulations. Rider continuity accelerates development. Instability forces parallel contingency programs that dilute focus. Ducati's most realistic internal replacements include Fermin Aldeguer, Marquez, Fabio Di Giannantonio and Pecco Bagnaia, though Bagnaia is linked with Aprilia. Signing a marquee external name like Pedro Acosta is possible but depends on broader market moves and contractual cascades. The factory must weigh promoting from within against the commercial and performance upside of an external star. Promoting internal talent preserves institutional knowledge but may not match the immediate marketing and performance impact of a high-profile external signing. Marquez's bargaining position is influenced by his recent form, fitness concerns and the unknown competitiveness of 2027 machinery across manufacturers. Ducati could offer a one-year deal to limit risk, but that shifts leverage back to Marquez and increases the chance of late-cycle disruption. Alternatively, Ducati might pursue earlier clarity, securing a longer deal or lining up successor options now, to stabilize development and commercial planning. A one-year Marquez contract would be a pragmatic short-term fix for Ducati but a potential strategic liability, as MotoGP approaches a major technical reset. Borgo Panigale's best path is to balance risk management with proactive succession planning, secure immediate performance needs while preparing credible long-term options so the team can pivot quickly if Marquez's commitment ends after 2027. The coming weeks of negotiations and official confirmations will determine whether Ducati can avoid a disruptive rider market scramble. Marquez is blunt about the deficit. Despite running factory-spec machinery, he says he's still maybe 20% off, and not feeling very, very good with the GP26. That shortfall forces a conservative race approach focused on finishing and collecting points rather than attacking for podiums. Rider perception of bike balance often precedes measurable lap time gains. A 20% subjective gap can translate into significant on-track differences. The article frames Alex's situation as part of a broader Ducati adaptation problem. Bagnaia's difficulties with the GP25 last year, which only Marc Márquez seemed to overcome before his injury, are now echoed in Alex's experience with the GP26. The implication is that the Desmosedi's evolving character suits some riders better than others. When a factory bike changes character, it often creates a split: riders who adapt quickly and those who must wait for engineering fixes or alter their technique. With limited early gains, Alex has prioritized survival over spectacle. He described his Austin approach as conservative: score points, avoid mistakes, and preserve championship prospects while the team hunts for setup and development improvements. The unexpected schedule break is seen as an opportunity to analyze data and make incremental steps before Jerez. "I'm just trying to survive because the feeling still isn't really great." Alex emphasized that the GP26 behavior affects his natural riding style more than the GP24 did. Even retaining some 2024 components hasn't fully bridged the gap. He and the team are working through setup permutations to find a compromise between outright pace and predictable limits, particularly under braking where he feels the bike is more difficult to manage. Braking stability and turn-in predictability are frequent fault lines when a bike's mass distribution or chassis balance shifts. Marquez remains optimistic and motivated. He expects step-by-step progress through focused feedback, targeted setup changes, and the additional analysis time afforded by the calendar break. The European rounds, starting with Jerez, will be the first meaningful test of whether those adjustments restore competitiveness. Riders who combine clear feedback with patient engineering cycles often recover performance faster than those who chase quick fixes. Alex Marquez's early season is a study in adaptation. The GP26 suits some riders better than others, and he is currently on the wrong side of that equation. His strategy is pragmatic: protect the championship position, refine feedback, and use the brake to prepare for Jerez. If the team can recover the missing 20% of feel, Marquez's racercraft and consistency could quickly return him to the front. If not, the season will become a longer process of rebuilding confidence and compatibility with Ducati's latest Desmosedici. Acosta's remarks come amid a busy off-season of contractual reshuffles. Reports indicate he will join Ducati for 2027, replacing Francesco Bagnaia in the factory squad once the new Concord agreement and manufacturer allocations are finalized. Public announcements remain on hold while commercial deals are settled, but paddock chatter has already framed Acosta as one of the era's most sought-after young talents. When asked about the idea of sharing a garage with Marquez, Acosta was unequivocal: it would be a dream come true. He framed the prospect as a rare opportunity to learn from one of the sport's all-time greats and acknowledged the unique professional and personal value of spending time alongside a 9-time world champion. "For me, definitely. It's not every day you get to stand on the other side of the pit wall from a 9-time world champion." The potential Acosta Marquez pairing combines raw youth and proven mastery. Acosta's aggressive, instinctive style and rapid learning curve complement Marquez's experience and racercraft. For Ducati, such a duo would balance long-term investment in a generational talent with the immediate feedback and leadership of a veteran. For Acosta, the move would place him in a factory environment tailored to championship ambitions. Team dynamics matter. A young star benefits from a stable, experienced teammate who can mentor and benchmark performance. Although media reports suggest the deal is agreed in principle, the absence of a final commercial Concord agreement has delayed formal announcements. That freeze affects not only headline moves but also the cascade of secondary transfers that determine who fills satellite and factory seats. Until contracts are published, speculation will continue to shape narratives and rider expectations. The Concord Agreement acts as a gating mechanism. Until it's signed, many deals remain provisional. Acosta's likely arrival at Ducati signals a broader generational handover in Moto GP. Pairing him with Marquez would create a high-profile mentor-protégé dynamic and reshape Ducati's long-term planning around the 850cc regulations. It would also intensify the title fight. A factory pairing of Marquez and Acosta would be a potent combination of experience and youthful speed, forcing rivals to rethink development and recruitment strategies. High-profile team formations can alter development priorities and sponsor interest across the paddock. Pedro Acosta's public admiration for Marc Márquez is both personal and strategic. It reflects a rider eager to learn and a paddock anticipating seismic lineup changes for 2027. If the Acosta-Ducati move is confirmed and a Marquez partnership materializes, the pairing would be one of the season's defining storylines, a clear signal that MotoGP's next era will be contested by a mix of established champions. Marquez balanced family time in his hometown of Cervera with light recovery activities, sharing social media snapshots of a quiet Easter spent with his partner Gemma Pinto and their newly adopted pet. The short break offered a chance to recharge after a busy flyaway schedule and a physically demanding start to the season. Strategic rest between races helps athletes recover mentally and physically while preserving training continuity. Rather than only motocross, Marquez chose to ride asphalt at Motorland Aragon, sampling a Panigale V2 and using the circuit's karting area for focus drills. The session was practical, sharpening pace, refining lines and rebuilding confidence on tarmac ahead of the European swing. Aragon holds personal significance for Marquez, who has a corner named after him at the circuit. Circuit-specific training can accelerate a rider's return to race rhythm by simulating competitive demands in a controlled setting. Marquez began the season carrying the aftereffects of a shoulder injury sustained in Indonesia last year. The extra track time and the unexpected postponement of the Qatar Grand Prix to November give him more runway to recover before the European rounds resume in Jerez. He and his team are using the break to manage workload and prioritize rehabilitation. Additional recovery time between events can be decisive for riders returning from significant injuries. Austin was a mixed weekend, a Friday crash, a sprint penalty and a hard-fought fourth place on Sunday. Marquez's Aragon outing appears aimed at addressing those issues, regaining confidence under braking, testing race pace on a different machine and consolidating physical conditioning. He was joined by Moto2 rider Adrián Huertas, indicating the session combined training with mentorship and shared track time. Post-race training sessions often target specific weaknesses revealed during competition, such as braking stability or race rhythm. With Aprilia showing strong early form and Ducati's internal pecking order shifting, Marquez knows the European rounds will be crucial. The Aragon session is part of a broader plan to arrive at Jerez fitter and more comfortable on the bike, aiming to convert practice gains into race results as the championship moves into its most intense phase. Early season adjustments and recovery work frequently determine momentum heading into the European calendar. Marc Márquez's Easter return to track was pragmatic, a mix of family time, recovery and targeted on-track work designed to rebuild confidence and fitness. The extra preparation window before Jerez and the European races gives him a better chance to address lingering shoulder issues and refine race readiness. How effectively he translates that work into race pace will be a key storyline as the season shifts back to Europe. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!